Okay, guys, I just want to show you that the PT indicator is working fantastic. It just takes me some time to learn my own, systems and indicators and be able to back test and understand what it is I'm doing and how to use everything. So I think I've got everything worked out now. PT3 for the weekly got hit on this 60-minute bar, 9 a.m. 60-minute bar on Friday. Went up and tagged it right on the tip. I don't know if you can see that, and then just sort of fell off after that. But overall, this strategy from October the 3rd, about October 3rd, thereabouts, early October, from this bottom to the top, unbelievable. Um, you know, those are points. So 1147, 4 times, 5 times, $22,940 from tip to toe. And so to get a strategy to go inside of that so you can manage your risk, of course, in hindsight, we know that it went from tip to toe, but we never would have known it, was going to go to the very, very top. And like I said, it went to the very top of the weekly PT3. So I think the top is pretty much in, especially since you're seeing that 60-minute linear regression. So that linear regression is going to start rolling over to pick up to the trend filter and will probably break back out to the upside, is my guess, that first time. But I'll be watching for failures very carefully, not knowing what's going to go in next year if we get that impeachment trial happening. Which could cause an effect on the market. Anything negative about that China deal, or for some reason they don't manage to get USMCA done, the market could tank. But otherwise, this market really has legs to keep going for a long time. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I put the price on 405 minutes and came up with a little strategy to trade my PT123 for the RTH session. There's 405 minutes in the RTH session, so I just moved my bar to a 405-minute bar and left the data series on use instrument settings. I did not change that to RTH, just leave it as use instrument settings. And what I noticed, if you come in here and look, each time, let me put this on no entry so you can see it, each time a wick goes below the PT1A, the PT1B, the lower PT1, every time a wick goes below it, that's when you want to wait for that body to close back inside the value, or the PT1A, B, PT1B. There's A and here's B, A, B. So every time you get a wick below that PT1, you can probably fine tune it and enter on these levels, but I like to just, make sure it's going to go back inside the value and continue the trend. So wait for that next day close to go back in and get back long. And how to code this, you cannot find something very simple. So you've got your low in your Heikin-Ashi. Right here, you've got your Heikin-Ashi low. And then B, you've got your PTB1, right? So the PTB1. And so what I did was pull this over here so you can see it. So when a low goes below that PT1, I have flipped it. I have modified the signal and extended it and turned it around. So I've got my modifier right here. So modify it, grab the signal, and put a Heikin on it, and it requires an up signal to get the signal. Very, very simple strategy. And when you back tested in Blackbird, what I did was I gave one target to the PT3, one target to the PT2, one target to the PT1, and for my stop, I've got the PT3. So the 3 trails the 3 target, the 2. Oh, that's a 3 too. I left it on the 3 for the PT2, but for the PT1, I moved it to the PT2, not the 3. Kind of brought that stop up just a little bit. And that little simple 1, 2, 3 system, pretty powerful. Now again, this is on a 405-minute chart. We can take this strategy down and did that run? Did I have that? Yep. Okay, here we go. So 25,069. So I did damn well just about what the flat out money was going long to short. So that's like damn near beating the index. And just, buy one and hold. 67% profitable, 193 profit factor. So very, very promising. Like I said, you probably don't want to trade a 405-minute bar, but so we can break this down going forward in the trade room and try to minimize our risk by going into a smaller bar. So we can put this on a 60-minute bar, rerun the strategy. And you see that we get a little bit less profit on a smaller bar because there's more risk. But the profit factor stayed above 1, and we still kept that percentage of profitability, 67%. So we've got a high percentage profitability and a good profit factor. What I don't like is that the losing trade is a little bit above the winning trade on average, so I'd like to turn that around. And you can do that by adding your filters. Right now there's nothing filtering this except for, just that one entry. So there's really no filters. So we can come in here and put the linear regression and momentum on this, and that'll clean up that risk a lot. And so we'll work on this strategy going forward in the trade room next year, and learn other techniques in Blackbird. Also notice here on the, on the PT2 histogram, we can take, I'm so sorry. excuse me, sorry, the PT2, if we just use the bar size by itself, you get what your profit factor is for a 60-minute bar at the end of the day for the PT 1, 2, and 3. But if you turn it back on to use the RTH session for that too, that's where it gets, these are the levels that we'll want to be using trading. So you can also use that 20 points for a risk on the PT1, or the 40 points getting to the PT2 for the risk, or the 56 points right there for the PT3 for that RTH session on Friday. So you can trade that instead, and you can change your risk to do that in Blackbird down here by applying the PT2 indicator instead of the 3. I had the 3 in there, but we can put the 2 in like a ATR. So just put the ATR indicator here, but instead of the ATR, put that JATS version 2. Okay, and there's the 3. And this is going to be on a 60-minute bar because I don't have the multi-time frames yet. I'll have that in January. We can start plugging in the RTH session. Right now we are stuck with the bar size for this. But flip this one out. PT2. And add one here, ATR. Change the ATR. There's a delay. Here we go. Change the ATR to the PT2. Save and close, and that's 1.5. I think we'll probably want to move that to a 2, but we can run this test to see what it looks like on the 1.5. And that what this should do is give us some more risk protection, and that's what it's really all about. So actually it gave us more risk protection, and percent profitability went up to 71%, profit factor went up, and the risk factor went down tremendously. So much closer on the risk. So this looks like a really good choice too. That was 1.5 times the PT2 settings for that RTH setting. So so use it like an ATR for the PT2 indicator, like you would an ATR. And so that's another way to do it. So we can use either the actual settings on the RTH session when that gets ready, or we can use this like an ATR. And you know, in hindsight, we knew that the market was moving up, right? Well, to reverse this, we're going to want, you know, to do a different strategy. We'd want to sell the highs. So I don't have that built in here yet. So I had to buy the lows and go back in. I'll have to create another one that says sell the high after it, you know, gives you a long wick outside the PT3 and then comes back in, or a long wick outside a high above the PT1, and then a close back inside would be your entry for a short. So I can reverse this strategy coming back in, and then we can trade it down. Where's September? There were some short trades, but to show you that we have to wait for the market to turn around, but we can trade this both ways, up and down. So I'm just trying to tell you I'm very, very excited about the PT123 system, as you can see, and it doesn't take much to put this into Bloodhound. You know, I was telling someone the other day, simple is best. Sometimes, you know, you can get to overfitting and over curving a strategy. So this would be a good strategy to, you know, we'll start back testing it, try to get our risk down, and then manage it going forward, and allow you to get one of, you know, you run this in one of your combines or something. And there's other things that we can do in crude. We want to go with the breakouts because that's a breakout market. So we can be looking for those 15-minute PT3 breaks. And so there's a lot of stuff that we can be doing with this type of strategy. So looking forward to 2020 and Bloodhound and Blackbird and NinjaTrader, and going to get it done, working on it. Y'all have a great Christmas, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the trade room next year. Thank you so much.